Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm going to talk about some things that I plan to read in February, as well as have a conversation about things that you should and should not be doing during Black History Month. Apparently this is a conversation that we need to keep having every year, despite the fact that we've made it pretty clear. Not sure where the confusion is coming in, but hopefully I can clear some of that up. So first and foremost, if you are going to read Black books this month, fantastic. However, February should not be the only time of the year that you are reading books by Black authors. That is quite literally common sense. It's not that hard. It's really not, yet here we are every year. You should not only be reading books by Black authors during Black History Month or after the Black community has suffered some sort of tragedy, because that's basically what happened after the death of George Floyd, despite the fact that what happened to him has been happening for fucking centuries. Another thing that happened during 2020 was a bunch of white people mass following Black creators just to unfollow them later. We're not saying that you have to follow every Black creator that exists. However, if you only follow white people, that is a problem. There are enough Black creators on any social media platform for you to be able to find someone who has the same taste as you, who can give you recommendations that you will enjoy. It is truly not that difficult. Now, if you are going to pick up books by Black authors, or books that represent the Black experience, while that is great, you need to make sure that you are not only centering books that feature Black pain and trauma. You can also read about Black joy. You can read about Black romance. And for the love of God, please release yourself from the chokehold of the hate you give. The way that this community has latched onto that book is honestly fucking disturbing. Yes, it is an important story. Yes, it is an accurate representation of a portion of the Black experience, especially in America. But that being the only Black book that you have ever read is a problem. The obsession with the suffering of Black people is genuinely concerning. I don't feel like people should have to be reminded to read books about Black people, people of color, disabled people, whatever the case may be, where they're happy. Speaking of happiness, Black love exists. You can read Black romance. And to clear up any confusion there, Black love, Black romance means that everyone in the relationship is Black. I'm not talking about interracial relationships. I'm not talking about damn near every Talia Hibbert book, except for the one that was most recently released. Talia Hibbert is also British, so Black History Month in the United States is about Black Americans. And that's not to say that you can't read throughout the diaspora, but that's just something important to note, because I think people get really confused by that. All that to say, that Black love means that everyone in the relationship is Black. Not a Black person and a non-Black person. Everyone is Black. It also shouldn't need to be said that you should not be defending racist authors, but again, here we are. But let me make it clear that if an author does something that offends the Black community and a bunch of Black creators are coming forward and saying this is harmful and these are the reasons why, either uplift their voices or stay quiet. Because your opinion doesn't matter. It's not for you to determine whether or not it is or is not racist. And it's also not your place to try to accept an apology on behalf of a community that you are not a part of. And if you see that some Black creators are saying that it's harmful and other Black creators are saying that they don't really care, that it doesn't affect them, you should still stay quiet. Because the excuse of, oh, well, this Black person said it's okay, so then it must be okay, is not how that works. No, the Black community is not a monolith. However, the fact that it's doing harm to any of us at all, no matter how small the portion of people, should be enough for you to realize that, one, your opinion doesn't matter. Two, it's not your place to comment on it. And three, that should still tell you that harm is being done, and that in and of itself should be enough for you to not want to defend it. Now, if you are looking for readathons or challenges to participate in, there are plenty. For the Culture Readathon is coming back. Previously, it had been solely run through Twitter, but the creator is also on BookTube now, so I will have her announcement video linked below. The Missy Elliott Readathon is also coming back. I'm not sure all of the platforms that it's on, but I'm pretty sure it is on both Instagram and Twitter. Again, I will have that linked, as well as Blackathon hosted by Jesse over at Bowties and Books. This is the 5th year, I believe, and I will have that linked as well. If you are looking for other ways to diversify your reading, Bree over at The Locked Petition is hosting the Black Classics Book Club. She just announced the next 3 books for the next 3 months, and Erica from The Broken Spine is co-hosting that with her. Bree also runs Black Aweenathon, which takes place in October. There are plenty of ways that you can continue to diversify your reading throughout the year, and if you are genuinely struggling with that, then I honestly advise you to take a seat and unpack that, because it's an issue. It's really not that hard. So you have plenty of resources to read various things by Black authors during this month if you are choosing to do so. You should be reading Black joy, you should be reading Black love, you should be reading Black fantasies. And when I say that, I mean Raybearer, A Song of Wraiths and Ruin. I'm not talking about Legendborn because the majority of the people in that book are white anyway. This year for the bookish community has already started off in hell, so do I really expect it to get better? No, but I've said my piece. If you have a problem with it, I honestly don't give a shit. Now on to my potential TBR. I'm not really setting a TBR for this month because I don't really know what I want to read yet, but I have a few things that I've been wanting to get to, so perhaps I will or will not. The first thing is that I did get an arc of The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi, so I have to read that. The publication date was moved up by a week, so it'll now be published on February 28th, I think. So that is going to have to be a priority now. I was supposed to read this book last year and I never got to it, unfortunately, so I am hoping that I can finally get to Amari and the Night Brothers. I've heard so many good things about this book. Book 2 is out. I don't know if there's any update on book 3, but I would like to catch up before then, so hopefully I can. In this, we're following a young girl named Amari. This is a middle grade. Her older brother goes missing and she gets wrapped up in some supernatural investigation trying to find him. Next, I need to read Descendants of the Fur. So this is the sequel to Daughters of Enri. This is just a duology, so this would be nice for me to check off a series on my list. I read Daughters of Enri, I think in 2021, so it's been a minute, but I would like to see what happens. I felt like in the first book I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and then finally the thing happened, but then the book was over. So I'm really hoping that this one gives me more of what I was looking for. In this one, we are following two twins who were separated at birth because the ruler of this kingdom was told that there was a prophecy in which twins would be his demise. So basically what he's been doing is just killing twins as soon as they're born. These two were saved though, and then they are trying to find each other. So it was a really interesting first book. I think I gave it 4 stars. I'm excited to see how it ends. One more for now because I'm still trying to figure out what I want to read, but this one is also super chunky, so I feel like it might take up a little bit more of my time, and that is The Final Strife. I will be buddy reading this with Robin. I'm really excited to get to it because I've heard great things. I have heard that the beginning of it is kind of slow, so knowing that going in, I think that will help me not want to DNF it. Also, a lot of my friends really like it, so I hope that I agree with them on that. The only thing that I really know about this is that we're in a world where there's a caste system based off the color of your blood. I don't know how many different colors there can be, but that's really intriguing to me, so I hope that I enjoy it. So those are just a few things that I'm planning to read this month. Let me know if you have read any of these or if they are on your TBR. Let me know if you are participating in any of the readathons that I mentioned. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.